Martha Brotherton was a beautiful 17-year-old girl who emigrated from England to Nauvoo with her family in 1841. Brigham and Heber, who were both 40 years old, soon discovered her and tried to convince her to become a secret plural life to Brigham. After she refused, they brought a man impersonating the prophet Joseph to try and convince her. She continued to reject their proposals, and 6 weeks later, she and her parents returned to England, disgusted, all disavowing the church. This is her story, in her own words, from a sworn affidavit.
I had been at Nauvoo near 3 weeks, during which time my father's family received frequent visits from elders Brigham Young and Heber Kimball, two of the Mormon apostles, when, early one morning, they both came to my brother-in-law's, John McKilrick's house, at which place I then was on a visit, and particularly requested me to go and spend a few days with them. I told them I could not at that time, as my brother-in-law was not at home. However, they urged me to go the next day, and spend one day with them. The day being fine, I accordingly went. When I arrived at the foot of the hill, Young and Kimball were standing conversing together. They both came to me, and after several flattering compliments, Kimball wished me to go to his house first. I said it was immaterial to me, and accordingly went. We had not, however, gone many steps, when Young suddenly stopped, and said he would go to that brother's, pointing to a little log hut a few yards distant, and tell him that Kimball and Brother Glover will value his land. When he had gone, Kimball turned to me and said,
"Martha, I want you to say to my wife, when you go to my house, that you want to buy some things at Joseph's store, and I will say, I am going with you, to show you the way. You know you want to see the prophet, and you will then have an opportunity."
I made no reply. Young again made his appearance, and the subject was dropped. We soon reached Kimball's house, where Young took his leave, saying,
"I shall see you again, Martha."
I remained at Kimball's near an hour, when Kimball, seeing that I would not tell the lies he wished me to, told them to his wife himself. He then went and whispered in her ear, and asked if that would please her. "Yes," said she, "or I can go along with you and Martha."
"No, I have some business to do, and I will call for you afterwards, to go with me to the debate between Dr. Bennett and Joseph."
To this she consented. So, Kimball and I went to the store together. As we were going along, he said,
"Sister Martha, are you willing to do all that the prophet requires you to do?"
I said I believed I was, thinking of course he would require nothing wrong.
"Then, are you ready to take counsel?"
I answered in the affirmative, thinking of the great and glorious blessings that had been pronounced upon my head, if I adhered to the counsel of those placed over me in the Lord.
"Well, there are many things revealed in these last days, that the world would laugh and scoff at, but unto us is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom. Martha, you must learn to hold your tongue, and it will be well with you. You will see Joseph, and very likely have some conversation with him, and he will tell you what you shall do."
When we reached Joseph's store, he led me up some stairs to a small room, the door of which was locked, and on it the following inscription, "Positively no admittance."
"Ah, Brother Joseph must be sick, for, strange to say, he is not here. Come down into the tithing office, Martha."
He then left me in the tithing office, and went out, I know not where. In this office were two men writing, one of whom, William Clayton, I had seen in England, the other I did not know. Young came in, and seated himself before me, and asked where Kimball was. I said he had gone out. He said it was all right. Soon after, Joseph came in, and spoke to one of the clerks, and then went upstairs, followed by Young. Immediately after, Kimball came in. I went, and we found Young and the prophet alone. I was introduced to the prophet by Young. Joseph offered me his seat, and, to my astonishment, the moment I was seated, Joseph and Kimball walked out of the room, and left me with Young, who arose, locked the door, closed the window, and drew the curtain. He then came and sat before me, and said,
"This is our private room, Martha."
"Indeed, sir, I must be highly honored to be permitted to enter it." He smiled, and then proceeded.
"Sister Martha, I want to ask you a few questions. Will you answer them?
"Yes, sir."
And you will not think any the worse of me for it, will you, Martha?"
"No, sir."
"Well, what are your feelings towards me?"
"My feelings are just the same towards you that they ever were, sir."
"But, to come to the point more closely, have not you an affection for me, that, were it lawful and right, you could accept of me for your husband and companion?"
My feelings at that moment were indescribable. God only knows them. What, thought I, are these men, that I thought almost perfection itself, deceivers? And is all my fancied happiness but a dream? 'Twas even so. But my next thought was, which is the best way for me to act at this time? If I say no, they may do as they think proper, and to say yes, I never would. So I considered it best to ask for time to think and pray about it. I therefore said, if it was lawful and right, perhaps I might, but you know, sir, it is not.
Well, but Brother Joseph has had a revelation from God, not yet written down, that it is lawful and right for a man to have 2 wives, for as it was in the days of Abraham, so it shall be in these last days. And whoever is the first that is willing to take up the cross will receive the greatest blessings. And if you will accept of me, I will take you straight to the celestial kingdom. And if you will have me in this world, I will have you in that which is to come. And Brother Joseph will marry us here today, and you can go home this evening, and your parents will not know anything about it.
Sir, I should not like to do anything of the kind without the permission of my parents.
Well, but you are of age, are you not?
No, sir. I shall not be until the 24th of May.
Well, that does not make any difference. You will be of age before they know, and you need not fear. If you will take my counsel, it will be well with you. For I know it to be right before God, and if there is any sin in it, I will answer for it. But Brother Joseph wishes to have some talk with you on the subject. He will explain things. Will you hear him?
I do not mind.
Well, but I want you to say something.
I want time to think about it.
Well, I will have a kiss anyhow.
He then rose and said he would bring Joseph. He then unlocked the door and took the key and locked me up alone. He was absent about 10 minutes and then returned with Joseph and said to him,
Well, Sister Martha would be willing if she knew it was lawful and right before God.
Well, Martha, it is lawful and right before God. I know it is. Look here, sis. Don't you believe in me?
I did not answer.
Well, Martha, just go ahead and do as Brigham wants you to. He is the best man in the world, except me.
Oh, then you are as good?
Yes.
Well, Martha, we believe Joseph to be a prophet. I have known him near 8 years and always found him the same.
Yes. And I know that this is lawful and right before God. And if there is any sin in it, I will answer for it before God. And I have the keys of the kingdom, and whatever I bind on earth is bound in heaven. And whatever I loose on earth is loosed in heaven. And if you will accept of Brigham, you shall be blessed. God shall bless you, and my blessing shall rest upon you. And, if you will be led by him, you will do well. For I know Brigham will take care of you. And if he doesn't do his duty to you, come to me, and I will make him. And, if you don't like it in a month or 2, come to me, and I will make you free again. And if he turns you off, I will take you on.
Sir, it will be too late to think in a month or 2 after. I want time to think first.
Well, but the old proverb is, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And it would be the greatest blessing that was ever bestowed upon you.
Yes, and you will never have reason to repent it. That is, if I do not turn from righteousness, and that I trust I never shall. For I believe God, who has kept me so long, will continue to keep me faithful. Did you ever see me act in any way wrong in England, Martha?
No, sir.
No, neither can anyone else lay anything to my charge.
Well then, what are you afraid of, sis? Come, let me do the business for you.
Sir, do let me have a little time to think about it, and I will promise not to mention it to anyone.
Well, but look here. You know a fellow will never be damned for doing the best he knows how.
Well, then, the best way I know of is to go home and think and pray about it.
Well, I shall leave it with Brother Joseph, whether it would be best for you to have time or not.
Well, I see no harm in her having time to think, if she will not fall into temptation.
Oh, sir, there is no fear of my falling into temptation.
Well, but you must promise me you will never mention it to anyone.
I do promise it.
Well, you must promise me the same.
I do.
Upon your honor, you will not tell?
No, sir. I will lose my life first.
Well, that will do. That is the principle we go upon. I think I can trust you, Martha. She looks as if she could keep a secret.
I then rose to go, when Joseph commenced to beg of me again. He said it was the best opportunity they might have for months, for the room was often engaged. I, however, had determined what to do. Then Young said,
Well, I will see you tomorrow. I am going to preach at the schoolhouse, opposite your house. I have never preached there yet. You will be there, I suppose.
Yes. The next day being Sunday, I sat down, instead of going to meeting, and wrote the conversation, and gave it to my sister, who was not a little surprised. But she said it would be best to go to meeting in the afternoon. We went, and Young administered the sacrament. After it was over, I was passing out, and Young stopped me, saying,
Wait, Martha, I am coming.
I cannot. My sister is waiting for me. He then threw his coat over his shoulders, and followed me out, and whispered,
Have you made up your mind, Martha?
Not exactly, sir. I afterwards proceeded to a justice of the peace, to make oath to the truth of these statements. You are at liberty to make what use of them you may think best. Yours, respectfully, Martha H. Brotherton.
Sworn to and subscribed before me this 13th day of July, 1842. Du Buffet-Fremont, Justice of the Peace for St. Louis County.
Martha's affidavit was produced at the behest of John C. Bennett to smear Joseph in revenge for having been outed for doing the very things he was now falsely accusing Joseph of. It was eagerly published in newspapers across America and Europe, and it had the very effect upon the public which Bennett sought. Many were convinced that Joseph was practicing deception. This forced him to publicly deny Martha's accusations. Unfortunately, neither Martha nor Joseph realized that Brigham and Heber were conning girls into believing they could have relations with them as secret plural wives by claiming Joseph had received it as a new doctrine from God. In Martha's case, they went so far as to have someone impersonate him. But at least Martha's affidavit has helped to expose their methods of entrapment, which you can plainly see they carefully planned out and used repeatedly. If you're wondering why this scam is not better known, consider that just like financial scam victims, many women who naively gave up their virtue were too embarrassed and ashamed to report it. Plus, Martha and all her family immediately left Nauvoo and returned to England, and likely never had the chance to meet the real Joseph. Hopefully, this documented account motivates you to dig deeper into the dark origins of polygamy.